Hello, today we will be talking about the content management system CMS of TrueLoaded, which is one of its unique selling points, which is a very strong feature and allows to manage pretty much every piece of content on the website based on TrueLoaded. Obviously, because it's so easy, because it's all in the back end, it doesn't require any programming skills or any, as such, HTML knowledge. It allows for businesses to implement small and medium changes in their websites, and it allows for consultants and agencies to very quickly implement changes for their clients. So it saves money and it makes the overall satisfaction with the website much higher. So let's look into how this works from the backend point of view. When we log into the backend and go into the Design CMS menu, we can see a number of options here. Let's look at pages to start with. So here we see a list of the currently created pages. Each one of them, as many other instances in this system, each one of them could be linked to one of or several front ends which are registered in TrueLoaded. So if we look into this, for example, privacy policy, it is currently enabled for several websites, but we could also disable it and create a slightly different privacy policy for this particular front end. So let's find this privacy policy in the front end and see how it looks. Here it is. Privacy policy page just describes, just a standard text pretty much. Here just describes certain measures that the website takes to store information about customers and everything else in its database. So if we go into the backend again and press edit, here we see a standard view of how a page can be edited. So here it can be linked to one or several front ends. Again, we can see that the content of the page could be made different for each of the front ends, which is very convenient and which I suppose is another uniqueness of this particular feature. And again, of course, because of the multiple language support, we can see that we can enter page title, name in the menu, and the actual content of the page in different languages here. So here we can see a standard what you see is what you get editor with a number of tools and features that allow us to be quite creative with the text. Make it bold if it needs to be bold, make it italic, make it underscore, do whatever you want with it. What is more interesting is that, well, perhaps not for the privacy policy page, but perhaps for other pages, we can insert certain links to other parts of the website here. For example, we can insert links to other pages, and those other pages would be simply taken from the database as well. So those are other content pages. Let's say user guide, insert. Here it is. There's a link to the user guide page. We can insert links to products. If we search for any particular product here, let's say insert, here it is. Insert links to categories. Easy as that. So basically, if you're authoring a landing page which talks about, let's say it's a buying guide for jewelry, or it's a buying guide for printers, for example, you could insert certain links to your other categories and products and other buying guides straight into that page. Here we see how it's done. Yeah, and obviously, as with everything else, in here we have search engine optimization tab where you can put the custom URL for that particular page, and you can make it indexable or not indexable for different reasons, I suppose. You could also use this to edit meta tags and rewrite if you need to rewrite the URL page name and other stuff. Here, obviously, you can choose the look and feel of the page. I will cover this in further videos, but basically you could have different look and feel applied to different content pages, and you can edit all of this in our template editor. Now we will look into how banners work. For this, we go into the Marketing Tools menu, and go into banner management. As before, we have support for multiple front ends, and so we see banners linked to particular front ends here. Banners in the front end look like, for example, this. This is a banner. It's not just any banner. This is what we call a carousel or a sliding banner, a slider. So we can see that it basically has multiple pages or slides on it. Each of them could be could have its own, well, obviously those are kind of independent banners, so each one is its own image, its own link, and we'll look into how it's done here. So these are the banners. For example, this one. Press edit, and we can see that it starts with, as well as everything else, with the platforms. And then on the main details page, we see that this field here is called banner group. Banner group is something that collects banners together. If there is more than one banner in the group, then the system will behave differently depending on how it's specified in the designer. For example, normally, if no other options are set, the system will just choose a random banner from the group and display it where the group banner should be displayed. If the banner group property is set to slider, then it will display a sliding banner. We can see that you can also have certain banners displayed at certain times if needs be. And then obviously you can have banners done in different languages, which is very convenient for those global websites with customer base coming from different countries and regions. We can see that you can have a URL, you can open banner in the new window, you can open the URL in the new window or not, and then obviously you can specify any image or HTML text to be the banner. Now, to see how banners work, we go back into the design and CMS, we go into the themes menu, and now we will look into how banners are added to a theme. So here we have our famous theme editor, and this is a banner widget. So we press edit, and we see that this banner widget is linked to the home menu, and the banner type is set to slider, and then there are other options here like random effect or some other effects, and so on and so forth. So to add a new slider, I would just add a new banner widget, select this or that banner group, and select banner type slider. If I wanted to see just a random banner, I would just set this to banner, perhaps. As easy as that. Now we will look into another feature of the TrueLoaded CMS called translation. Translation covers everything which is not covered yet in the themes, in the menus, in the pages. Translation normally covers all the text messages, text labels, and everything the system uses to communicate with the customer in the front end or in the back end. Using the translation, we can change pretty much everything in TrueLoaded. As you can see, it supports multiple languages as well, and it works in this way. For example, let's go into, now we're in the front end, let's go into this page, which is basically a product listing. Here we see there is a button called compare. Let's see how we can change that. Let's assume somebody has asked us to change this to compare products. So let's search for compare. Now we see that there are several string variables here, which are used in various parts of the system, main module, in the back end as well, in the catalog, and so on and so forth. So I suppose it's this button here, compare. I press edit, and here in the English translation, I put in compare products. I press save. I go back to the front end and I press 5 to refresh, and here we are. So I have now changed the text of the button without changing nothing in the code, without any programming, without any HTML as such. It's as easy as that. It's really super quick and allows everyone to change everything in the backend. There was one time when a customer called us, that was before Christmas. It was in the evening, and the customer urgently needed some changes done on the website, and that we explained to them how it was done, and in 5 minutes time they managed to change the phrase on their website, something to do with stock and availability, and they were utterly happy with being able to do it themselves without a need for us to get involved, and also with the time it took them, just a couple of minutes really. Now, the last part of today's review is the email templates. Every time customer, a user, signs into TrueLoaded, places an order, there is a notification coming to the user from TrueLoaded, for example. The system sends an email. That email obviously has some text in it, certain database-driven fields as well. So let's see how this works. For example, this is a new customer signing in or signing up. Here it is. You can have email templates unique for each of the front ends very easily here. You can have them in HTML format and in text, and you can have them in different languages. So same as everything else in this system. Interestingly enough, you cannot just put text and perhaps images here as well, but you can also put special type of keys. So this, as you can see here, 2 hashtags, user greeting 2 hashtags, which means, dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for example. Thank you for opening an account at store name. So basically, here is a list of keys. Here are all the keys which the system can allow you to add to your email templates, and you can be as creative as you need to be to put them into your email templates very easily. So if we look into, for example, order confirmation email here, this is our standard, very simple, very straightforward order confirmation template. Obviously, you can change it to anything else. You can put some seasonal offers or seasonal conditions of some sort. You can change any text, and then again, you are very free to operate with any of the keys which are available through this Add Key button. So this was a review of the TrueLoaded Ecommerce CMS, and in the next reviews we will cover the marvel of all the CMS, the themes and theme editing for you. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that, and goodbye.